RotoGrinders Today. I'm Jordan Cooper, a.k.a. BlenderHD. If you want to follow me on Twitter. And it's Tuesday, October 8th. And it's opening day for NHL. We'll be taking a look at today's NHL DFS slate on DraftKings. Remember, it's a 4:30 p.m. Eastern start time, because we only have 3 games on the docket today. We got Blues Kraken, we got Bruins Panthers, we got Blackhawks Utah Hockey Club. Yeah, that's gonna be a weird. Utah the hockey club. The hockey club used to be in Arizona. Obviously, we get a much bigger slate on Thursdays, this Thursday, and then on Saturdays. Typically, that's kind of the NHL days for me. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays are happy days for the NHL people. But Tuesdays going forward through NFL season, we'll be talking about NHL. And usually, if it's the NHL's going on, I got Tim Buell with me here on Tuesdays, also inside of the NHL channel in our Discord, which is, as I always say, the best Discord channel in the entire business of any, I would consider, of any sport. Our Discord is free. I don't know why. So join it now, rotogrinders.com/Discord. Dane is already in there posting projection changes and line changes. Is Reinhart not skating this morning with the Panthers? We need to know what's going on with that. Goalie changes, everything like that. You don't need Twitter. You just need that channel open. All the news, all the information you need is going to be there. And Tim's always in there, giving his point of view. We got a new NHL analyst on board. We got Taylor doing write-ups. We got expert surveys. That's part of your MMA, your combo premium package here at RotoGrinders. So feel free to click on the link in the description. Get $40 off your first month. You get all the sports, which include NHL. And then Dane's in our chat. He wouldn't even worry. He's not even going to worry. I wouldn't worry about Reinhart. Okay, so there you go. Smash that like button, by the way. Hit that like button, your first thing in the door. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Hit all the stuff. Tim, excited? It's a 3-game slate. Excited?
I know it's a 3. How could they do this to us? A 3-game slate on opening day. I mean, what a bummer on a Tuesday, even, which is usually massive slates on Tuesdays. But yeah, really, really disappointed in the amount of games. But obviously, I'm super happy that that hockey is back. Yeah, we already got a very, very small piece of news. Nate Schmidt is out. Balinskis is going to be on the third pair. Likely the point guy for the power play too. So that's in our Discord already. Dane is already posting info for tonight's slate, or this afternoon slate, I should say. So yeah, I'm excited to do the show with you once a week, Blender.
Yeah, and we also have NHL as part of our props and pick'em package, which you get as part of Combo Premium. If you get Combo Premium, you get everything. But if you just want props and pick'em, if you're playing Prize Picks, Underdog, if you're on the sports books, like Tim told me before the show, you've gotten more prop bets in since sports betting has been legalized in your state today than you've already have ever, right? And there's only 3 games. Wait until Thursday when there's like 13 games, right? You have more than me sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, this DFS slate is not great. So I was like, I'm going to commit more money to props on this slate than DFS, just because it's only a 3-gamer. And sometimes when the slate is really, really short, and I actually like the chalk, it's like really tough to get excited about the slate, because I think the chalk is really, really good on the slate. So it's going to be hard, at least in single entry, to get really, really different. So, but yeah, I'm committing a lot of money to props on this slate.
Right, and remember our props and our picks and selections and everything here at RotoGrinders. We have Dane running the projections. You get the full statistical projections for NHL, so you can even download the CSV and do whatever the hell you want with it. And bet, weird sports books anywhere you want. But we do have a prop model that shows you at the current time. Always take a look at the timestamp when our projections get updated, which Dane does throughout the course of the day. It'll always show you the top 20. Our prop model will always show you the top 20 by edge, what book the lines are available on currently. We got BetMGM, we got BetMGM, we got Hard Rock, Rivers, 365, Caesars, FanDuel, even though FanDuel's numbers are always pretty. You're probably not going to find the best number on FanDuel, but everything is up there. So maybe Tim, just to start out the show, because we're only going to cover NHL once a week.
Yep.
What's one of the props that you have already taken today? And it's 11:05 a.m. So remember, when I always say about props, you said you got to get the best number, you got to get the best price, and typically that's going to be as early as you can. So if you're waiting until 4:00 for this Blues Kraken game or 6:30 for the Bruins Panthers game, a lot of these prices are going to be. You're not going to get good closing line value because the numbers have moved, the prices have moved. So what's one of the props that you do have that you have?
All right, so one skater that I like quite a bit today is Dylan Guenther. So I have his over 2.5 shot on goals minus 150. I can only bet on DraftKings, so if there's better numbers out there, then by all means get that. And then I also have Dylan Guenther over 0.5 point. That's a goal or an assist at minus 130. So he's a skater that I like quite a bit in DFS, and he's a skater I like quite a bit in the prop market.
One that I do have, which Dane has even posted as one of his expert picks, is Braden Shen under 2.5 shots for the Blues. I mean, you're gonna pay. You probably could get that at minus 180 now or something like that. But we have his probability of going under at just under 70%. So obviously minus 200 is a 66% implied probability. So if you get it at anything better than minus 250 or so, that still shows a bit of an edge. Nothing dramatic. There's only 3 games, so you may not find ones that are off by like 10 plus percentage points from an implied probability standpoint. But you're obviously you're laying some money there. But with him now on the third line and power play 2 unit, I think under 2.5 is a 70% likely sounds reasonable for his role now. Let's talk about the slate, DFS slate. There's only 3 games. So obviously the ownership is going to be quite condensed. I mean, that if you're playing GPPs, and remember in NHL DFS on DraftKings, the large field GPPs are not like that large, right? So when we're going to play, Tim, when we're going to be playing a 13-game slate, a lot of times you're not like playing the team with like the third lowest implied total, right? When there's 26 teams on the slate, when the large field GPP has like 3,000 or 4,000 entries. Because you don't need to, it's not the Millie Maker, it's not 200,000 entries. But on a 3-game slate, maybe you have to get a little bit more different because there's only so many options here. The problem is that what did DraftKings do with the Utah pricing? Where, I mean, Utah
they really messed it up. I can tell you that much. Outside of Clayton Keller.
Right. But I mean, Utah is the biggest favorite on the slate. I mean, not by like not an absurd favorite, but they're facing the Blackhawks, who are not a good team. And like Hayton is 3,200. Schmaltz is 57. Obviously Keller 74. So that's gonna cost a pretty penny. But like Guenther is 6K, and even worse, like Sergachev 4,300 at defender. I mean, like, it's hard not on a 3-game slate. It's hard not to play these guys. I mean, in comparison to the projections for the rest of the slate, I mean, I like from a game perspective, like if I was to watch a game, probably the Bruins Panthers game is like the best like real life game.
Definitely best real life game, no question about that.
Right, but the pricing on Bruins and Panthers are, I mean, I always love playing Matt Tkachuk, right? I like playing Pasternak, but I mean, it's quite possible even if you play Utah, you can play one of those 2 guys anyway.
That's why this slate is kind of like very, very stale in my opinion, because you can play Utah so easily. You can get to guys like Pasternak and Tkachuk really, really easily. So, that Utah team, Mikhail Sergachev is going to be the most chalky player on the entire slate. It's not even going to be close, in my opinion. He's 4,300, top pair defenseman, top power play unit. only 4,100 should be an absolute smash spot. I mean, he's really strong with peripherals and he's really strong offensively. So, I mean, he's another prop that I like quite a bit. I bet his over point prop, minus 125. I think he finds a way to find the score sheet today. I wouldn't even mind taking some alts on him as well. He should be playing some really, really big minutes. So, he's a absolute smash play today.
I don't know if Aaron's just joking or is new here. Have you been playing NHL longer than I have?
I believe I have.
Yeah, I think that's
Yes.
that's an understatement. Remember this time last year, you got me into NHL DFS.
I did,
and
you did really well.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's why do you think I kept on playing? But at this time last year, I would have been glad on the prop model that they've now included the teams next to the players' names, because I had to search for them because I didn't know what players were on what teams, and I'm probably still mispronouncing some people's names, but this time last year,
I don't even know 100% of them, Blender. I mean, I really don't. I try.
Yeah, but last year I was mispronouncing half the players. I was like, okay, this Swedish guy is. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna go for it. So do you think that the Utah power play 1 is just going to be just overwhelming chalk? Is there a way to play Utah? So really, did we talk about this in all sports like NFL? Like we had that like Packers Rams game that was chalky on Sunday, and I asked the question on Fridays: is the GPP play for leverage to be okay? I'm just going to fade Utah, or is there a way to play Utah in a different way? My inclination for GPP is that each individual player on Utah, like the main guys, are going to be so owned that I almost want to play them rather play them in a correlated way than go where like, well, Clayton Keller has a hat trick and for some odd reason, like the assists just go everywhere, like spread out so much that you don't need anyone else, but you need Clayton Keller or you need Nick Schmaltz or something like that. I think the ownership is so high that I'd rather just I don't want to play 2 of these guys. Like I'd rather
you'd rather overstack
none.
them. You'd rather overstack them is what you're saying. Yeah, I agree with you. That would be the way that I would play this as well. Is just go like an onslaught stack. Maybe play the full. Maybe just play the full PP1 and then add in another like cheap winger or something like that. Don't mind that at all. Sean Durzi, he's a really, really talented defenseman. He's expensive. I think that might be getting too cute, but if I was playing MME, I certainly would get to some Durzi in MME and maybe fade Sergachev in a couple lineups to get different. I was actually expecting Durzi to be the power play 1 defenseman, but it turns out he won't be. So I think he's the least interesting in GPPs. That top pair for Utah is going to be really, really strong this year.
But you wouldn't do something like, okay, I'm going to fade all these guys and play like PP2 or play like line 2 or line 3, like play a Kraus, Maselli, Cooley lineup. I just question that if Utah does well, I don't think it's, the 40 seconds of PP2 time getting 2+ goals is the way that Utah is going to win, and those are the 3 guys that do it. And then no one else scores well. Like it just it's almost like you need too many things. Like, sure, PP2 could score a goal, but if they just score 1 goal, it doesn't matter. You might as well have taken anyone else. I mean, they need 2+ goals on the line to kind of like win a GPP in any sense. And it's much more likely that if that happens, like one of these other guys is coming along, Sergachev and Hayton, someone's coming along with them. They're scoring more than 2 goals.
Yeah, I mean, if I don't want to play the PP1 from Utah, just play line 2 even strength, or something like that. Like maybe
even
it's not
Josh Doan at 5,200.
I mean, it's not the best play in the world, but I'm talking about large field tournaments here. I'm not going to play him in single entry. I'm talking about large field. Maybe, I mean, it is possible. We all know it's possible that Utah 1 can bust, and maybe the scoring gets distributed to line 2 or line 3. I don't even mind line 3, to be honest with you. Cooley, McBain, and Gunther. I think Gunther is going to have a really, really strong game. So I think he's going to have a really great year too. So I really like him tonight.
Is he the most viable as far as like a one-off is concerned?
Yes,
like,
I was exactly.
Because you're getting non-correlation for line 1, where if if line 1 doesn't do well, but line 3 does well, it's and Gunther's still on the power. Like, let's say power play 1 scores a goal, but line 3 scores 2 goals. It's quite possible that Gunther is the only player from Utah that you essentially need to have as a one-off, rather than play like a one-off. Clayton Keller seems like odd that if like Clayton Keller scores 3 goals, like dude, Hayden Schmaltz, Sergachev, like the assists are coming with him.
Exactly.
It seems odd that you would pay $7,400 to pay off that price tag. Like other guys are coming along with him.
Yeah, Gunther is by far my favorite one-off. Either he or Dursey are my 2 favorite one-offs for Utah.
Okay, so we talked a ton about Utah, obviously, because they're the chalk. Let's say you're not playing Utah. So where's the next best place to go on this slate? Is it to spend up for Panthers and Bruins stacks, or are we going into this Blues Kraken game, which probably, I mean, it's not the most appealing of games.
It is not. You're right. I don't mind this line 2 for St. Louis, kind of similarly priced to some of those Utah players. I think they could be a decent leverage jack. I also like line 2 for Seattle quite a bit. Schwartz, Stevenson, and Burakovsky. They are extremely cheap. So I mean, they're definitely a team that you could get leverage on Utah with. So I think Seattle at home this year is going to be pretty decent. So I think if I'm going to look to get different in the value range anyway, it'd be line 2 of Seattle or line 2 of St. Louis, because this Boston Florida game is much more expensive. So it's kind of like a different pricing tier. But if I'm looking to stay in the same pricing tier as some of those Utah stacks, it's going to be the Seattle St. Louis game, mainly the second lines.
Is the main issue with the Blues and Kraken lines that they play them more spread out than some other teams, like the issue, like especially like Seattle, like you got guys like Bjorkstrand and Tolvanen, and like line 1, like you have to expect line 1 and line 2 to get about similar ice time, and line 3 to get a decent amount of ice time. And even with the Blues, I mean, even line 3 is going to get a decent amount of time. That it's not like the Bruins and Panthers games, like these third lines. I mean, the fourth line is just like, come on.
Don't worry about fourth lines.
Right. But even like the third lines, but that Bruins and Panthers are very much condensed on their first 2 lines. And the Blues and Kraken, like you take a look and you have Dylan Holloway there on line 1 at 2,500, and it's like
he's a really good value play.
Yeah, but I mean, it's quite possible he still only sees like 13 minutes of ice time.
And the other thing is, you don't really need him on the slate because there's already such good value. But like Dylan Holloway is actually pretty good value play on like a larger slate. But today's not one of those days, so there's such good value on the slate you don't even need him.
Right, but I mean, it's the same thing for like Matty Beniers, 3,600 for the Kraken. Like he may see it may be 16 minutes. Like it's he's line 1 and he's power play 1, but it's going to be very dependent on how much power play time the Kraken get in this game, because a lot of the minutes are just going to be spread out amongst like 3 lines. I mean, truthfully, line 4 for the Kraken with Gord and Tanev there is like they're not going to see like no ice time. And that I don't think there's all that much difference between line 4 and some of these. I mean, it's the Kraken, so it's not like they're great anyway. But from a one-off perspective, I think, the I mean, obviously they're cheap, but the thing is that you could play like Kraken power play 1 for as cheap as you could play Utah power play 1.
Right.
And Utah's in a much better spot. But I like the Kraken for like Burakovsky one off at 3,200. Like
Yeah, I like
he's
that
someone
quite a
that could score two goals. But understand that his range of outcomes is like he could score 2 goals or he could score 1.5 points playing 17 minutes, and you're going, he's not doing anything.
The other thing about Seattle is that they tend to play their power play units split evenly, 50-50. So PP2 and PP1 are pretty much the same thing. So you don't get a huge edge by stacking the PP1. At least that's what they did last year.
Right. Anything else that you like from so in single entry?
So
I'm assuming in single entry that you're much more likely to just play Utah than go wildly different.
Yeah, I'm looking at more of like an onslaught type thing, of Utah. That's what I'm kind of leaning at right now. If I don't do that, I actually kind of like Chicago too. They have some new additions to their team. Teravainen and Bertuzzi. Taylor Hall's healthy. So they actually, and obviously Connor Bedard's fantastic. So, I mean, they actually do have some pretty solid offensive pieces. Utah should be decent defensively, but this is still opening day. So who really knows, I don't mind getting to like Teravainen as like a one-off, or maybe just mini stack him with Bedard, something like that. Or maybe just go like Bedard, Teravainen, and Bertuzzi as like a PP1 stack. I really don't mind that at all. So I think, there's just so much good value on the slate. It's like some of these guys are just in such good spots and are just way, way too cheap. Like Teravainen at 3,900, I think is a really bad price. He's borderline cash game viable, in my opinion.
Right. And I do have Teravainen's over 1.5 shots. On the prop.
What was the juice on that? Do you know?
I think I got it at minus 175, but it's I think it's up to minus 220 or something like that now.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned the value. We have a lot of value on the slate in the forward positions, right? Center and wingers. Do you think that makes it? This is something that I learned from soccer DFS. That NHL, there are 2 schools of thought in NHL DFS, and it's probably soccer also. It's easy for a defender, a very cheap defender, to pay off their price tag if they're involved with the score sheet or just get a ton of block shots or something like that. So you could you could find some $3K, $2,800 defender that you could punt with that on occasion will show up with 10 plus fantasy points. The problem is it doesn't happen that often. It's like finding center back goals in soccer, where like center backs are typically priced very cheap, but they don't do much peripheral wise. But if they happen to get ahead on the ball on a set piece, they could get 12 points for a goal. So it's very valuable when that happens. It's just that you can't rely. That's just like a lot of times you want to spend up in the skill position type of, the forward positions more. Right. But I believe that because too much of the field punts at defender, or at least in one defender spot, I think the scoring scarcity at defender is more valuable. It's very similar to what we think about in NFL, where if you could get 20 points out of your tight end, like it's so much more valuable than 20 points than 20 out of any other position, because so many tight ends only score 5 points that all of your opponents have a 5-point tight end and you have a 20-point tight end. Same thing for defender in soccer DFS. Like playing defenders, that if you could get 30 points out of 2 defender positions in soccer, like it's very hard for people to beat you, because so many defenders only get 5 points, that you could find goals in the winger and the center spots here in NHL, very similar to soccer, where like you could play would you rather play a $3,200 line 2 non-power play defender or Burakovsky at 3,200? Right? Like you're playing Burakovsky to bail himself out with a goal than the cheap defenders that really don't do anything on, second pair, third pair defenders that I'm much more likely, especially on these smaller slates, to play a Seth Jones plus Sergachev, play a Montour at 5,500 or Vince Dunn, play McAvoy, play these defenders that are much more likely to be involved in double digit fantasy point scoring. Or, I mean, dude, sometimes these are defenders that, they get on the score sheet, they have 3 points, and next thing you know, they have 25 to 30 fantasy points. Like in the defense, everyone has to play 2 defenders. I think this is a great slate with how much value there is in the forward slots to I don't want to pay down at defender at all.
Yeah, I really don't either. And don't forget about Justin Falk at 4,600. He should be running the power play 1 for St. Louis. Again, he's in a really good spot. But yeah, I don't really want to be paying up a defender that much on this slate. In fact,
paying down at defender.
Yeah, paying down or all the way up. The mid range is so stacked right now. So I don't really have much interest in like McAvoy or Jones or Montour, to be honest with you. It's really this 4K range is absolutely loaded. So I really like the 4K range right now. So paying down or all the way up. It's all about balanced builds for me right now.
3-game slate. Obviously, goalkeeper is the most tilting position in all of NHL DFS. Because, I mean, you could get a shutout and still be there could be 6 goalkeepers on the slate, and you give up 1 goal with 18 saves, and you're like the 5th highest scoring goalkeeper. And the guy that gave up 4 goals is the highest. I mean, because that's the kind of the way it works out. I feel as if it's viable. Will I do it? Probably not. It's viable to still play Mrazek in a lineup with the Utah stack.
Yep.
Right. It's still on a 3-game slate. You would never do this on like a 10+ game. You wouldn't do it like that. But
right.
I think a lot of people are going. I think Korpisalo is going to be like super chalky, because I think less people are playing the Panthers today at their prices versus Utah. And he's 7,400 and probably going to face. I mean, the Panthers are a great team to face for shots. I feel like I mean, I know I don't like doing goalkeeper tied to that goalkeeper doesn't denote what my whole lineup is going to look like, but I almost feel like people are going to have the money to pay up a goalkeeper.
Oh, definitely. Salary's not a thing on this slate at all.
Right. Well, that's why it's hard. It's hard for me to go. It's like Korpisalo should be the highest owned goalkeeper, but I'm doubting that maybe he's not going to be, because you could put in a lineup and put in Korpisalo and still have money to get up to Ingram, and actually the lineup that leaves 800 on the table projects better. Right?
Yeah, we have Joey. We have Decord as the highest projected on goaltender on this slate.
Really?
Yep.
I mean, we have Korpisalo as the highest projected goalkeeper, projection wise.
Yeah.
On the slate, and
it's probably because people like to chase the wins, and because they're gonna have plenty of salary left over.
I don't think the goalkeeper win is going to matter on this slate. I just don't. The pricing is so soft that I'd much rather chase the 35 plus save bonus than I don't care. I mean, truthfully, I think in NHL DFS, I don't care about the win. Right now in soccer, there's the difference. Like in soccer, you chase the clean sheet, which usually ends up being a win also, so you get both bonuses for it. Hockey, there's much less clean sheets, there's much less shutouts, so it's just the win bonus. I really don't care. I just typically for goalkeeper, I just what team is going to take a lot of shots. I want to play the goalkeeper.
Definitely going to be Florida,
right?
Yeah.
But if you're telling me that Korpisalo is not going to be the highest owned goalkeeper, that makes me want now. Now I want to play. Now I'm just going to play Korpisalo.
I think it's going to be really, really close between Bobrovsky, Korpisalo, and Decord.
Okay, Dane said he dropped the core. Okay, he dropped the projections. And that's
just a little bit. Just a little bit, though.
You got to be part of the Discord. You got to. He's always on the ball.
He's still number 2 though overall.
For his price, he's still probably the best point per dollar, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah,
right. But Dane's already in the Discord posting Buffalo units for what, tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, our Discord's awesome.
Yes,
and there's a great group of people in it too.
Yeah, it's not toxic. It's not like most DFS Discords where people are tilted, people are yelling at each other. You're stupid. Look at my score. You're an idiot for playing this, and blah blah blah. No, everyone kind of gets along, even though everyone's still competing. I mean, we have a lot of if you look at the RotoGrinders rankings for NHL from last year, I think 5 out of the top 10 in the RotoGrinders are literally in the Discord. Max entering the large field GPP and competing against each other.
So we got a question in chat. Do we like McAvoy or Marchand in a Boston PP1 stack? Preferably, I'd go Brad Marchand at 7% ownership. McAvoy's going to be around 15%. I'd go Marchand personally. But for the record, I'm not really that high on Boston's power play today.
But you still think Pasternak and Tkachuk are still going to be decently owned because you could still play. I mean, you could still play Bruins and Panthers pieces as one-offs, play a Verhaeghe, or I'm not a big like Barkov. To me, Barkov as a one-off seems almost, I don't know, stupid. Because Barkov rarely gets there by himself. He gets there by having, he may have a goal, but he also has 2 or 3 assists with it. He's much more likely to hit a ceiling by carrying other parts of his line mates over. But I still think I don't mind playing Sam Bennett as a one-off. Or
I'd much rather play Bennett
as a one-off, or some of these Lindholm is kind of the same way. Is that I feel if you play Lindholm, you might as well just play Pasternak with him.
I mean, if Matthew Tkachuk's going to be 15%, I'm going to play him. My single entry, no question, because he can get there by himself because his shot floor is so strong. So I really like Matthew Tkachuk today. He's a great pivot off Pasternak, in my opinion.
So as far as spend up options, is your thought as we mentioned before that if you're going to play a one-off, don't play Clayton Keller as a one-off, even though He's great for projection-wise, but just everyone's playing other people with him, that if he gets there, you're going to lose to the Utah stacks anyway.
Yeah.
And then the opposite perspective is because less people are playing Pasternak and Tkachuk as one-offs, that maybe you start pairing these guys, maybe not a full 4-man type of stack, but 2 or 3. I could see playing something like Tkachuk. I mean, the problem is that these guys are expensive. I mean,
you could do it though, because there's so many.
You play line 2. You do a Bennett, Tkachuk, Rodriguez. Line up something like that.
You can do that. I love Tkachuk as a spend up option. I love Bedard. Gunther, I already mentioned. Verhaeghe. Pasternak, I guess is fine, but I think he's going to be the most popular spend up option. So.
I feel if you're going to play Bedard, you might as well play Teravainen with him.
Probably.
Right.
But Bedard can.
I really don't mind the Chicago side here, even though
I don't either. But Bedard can get there by himself. Definitely.
Sure. But I'm saying when Teravainen's 3,900, I might as well just, they're going to be sharing the ice every second they're on. I mean, they're on line 1 and on the power play unit. So for 3,900, might as well correlate with Bedard right at that point.
Yeah.
Anything else on the slate? We tried to stretch it out normally we'd spend 35 minutes talking about a 10+ game slate. So we kind of went much more into like all the teams on the slate and everything. Anything else of note that we should? Is there any news that we need to pay attention to? I think we talked about everything that should be coming up today.
I don't think that there's much news at all that we're worried about. Nate Schmidt's already out. Belenskis is in for Schmidt. That's it.
Yeah, well, Mr. Gerg, we mentioned this before. Can you play a goalie against your stack on a 3-game slate? Yes, you can.
Yeah, on a super short slate.
On a super short slate, yeah. Because as long as there's no like shutouts, I mean, it's quite possible the goalkeeper scoring could be like the highest scoring goalkeeper on the slate could be like 14 points. And even if you guys get 6 points, it may not matter that much. Let's see. Swayman could start for Boston. Yeah, you're right. I don't think it matters.
They're the same price, thankfully, so it doesn't really matter too much.
Right.
But yeah, thank you, Dane, for pointing that out.
Okie doke. Remember, we got all the NHL premium content here at RotoGrinders. We got expert survey coming out today. We got a slate breakdown, right? Tim, we're still doing the slate breakdowns, right? For all the major slates.
I don't think so. Actually, we're just doing survey, and then we'll have more tags on Lineup HQ.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love reading the breakdowns. I can't believe we don't do that anymore.
Yeah, we don't have Taylor anymore.
What happened?
I guess I don't know. I actually don't know what happened. Okay. But we miss him for sure.
Okay, no one tells me anything. I just go in going, okay, it's gonna be like last year. But okay, so we got expert survey, we got tags in Lineup HQ, we got all the projections, ownership, statistical projections, prop model, pick'em model for Prize Picks and Underdog. We got all your NHL needs here on top of NFL. NBA is going to be back soon. We got college basketball, college football. We got MLB playoffs. We still got stuff for the MLB playoffs. We got golf, right? We got League of Legends. We got cricket props. Cricket pick'em. Cricket pick'em if you want him, right? We got that. I think we also have Australian rules football pick'em when they're playing also, which I good luck to that. We got tennis. We have tennis projections also. We got all the stuff. So get a combo premium package or an RG or a combo light package where you get SimLabs and Lineup HQ just to access to basically the tool section and not necessarily all the content. Yeah, TJ,
how dare you forget the wonderful CFL, Jordan? We have CFL projections. Canadian Football League.
The Canadian Football League.
Yeah. We got it.
That isn't as weird as Aussie rules football and cricket.
I mean, I'd say it's far more obscure. Cricket is exponentially more popular.
Yeah, but compared to in the United States where we are or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, the Canadian football, that's where all the bad NFL players go and try to, instead of working they said, do I want to play in the Canadian Football League or do I want to be a regional manager at a car dealership? Like, it's like one of the two.
That's where you're wrong. They do both. They do both. Most of them have jobs like that in the off season. The like elite, like one of the like most common and like well functioning things that a lot of high profile CFL players do. They're real estate agents and in the CFL. And so they just already have that name recognition in their city, and that's their other job.
Okay, Tim, we could find you on Twitter, Tasteful Tides, even though I'm not sure the last time that you've tweeted.
Yeah, I'm not.
I at least don't see it come up that much.
Find me in Discord. Find me in Discord. That's the best.
Yeah, you're there. You're absolutely and unequivocally in our NHL Discord. RotoGrinders.com/Discord. Join that today. We'll be covering NHL every Tuesday here on the show, right? Because tomorrow we'll take a first look at Week 6 for NFL DFS. Then Thursday, NFL props and pick'em. Friday, NFL GPP strategy. And then obviously Mondays with McCool, where we do a review of the previous week slate. And then back again hopefully next Tuesday. I haven't looked at the schedule. Next Tuesday, we won't just have 3 games, right, Tim? We'll actually have like a real slate.
I'm assuming we'll have a real slate. I have not looked yet.
Okay. So I'm playing one lineup tonight for this the 3-gamer. And let's see how I do. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out the door. Give us all of the thumbs. hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to know when we go live. We got Swolecast. We got tons of NFL stuff coming up this week. We got MLB playoffs. So all the content here at on YouTube, and NBA is coming back soon. So it's gonna be nutso here. So subscribe to the channel. Get all your stuff at rotogrinders.com/premium. Get $40 off your first month of a combo premium subscription. Click on that link in the description, and I'll be back tomorrow like I'm usually here, Monday through Friday, 11 o'clock Eastern, talking about all things you're thinking about in daily fantasy, props, and pick'em on RotoGrinders Today.